A great honor, but also a profound responsibility, as the valedictorian is tasked with trying to find a way to adequately sum up these last 4 or 5 years that have been life-changing. The class of 2025 has chosen for this task somebody who is well up to it, and that is Emma Etheridge. Emma, I'd ask you to join me here at the podium now. Originally from Riverview, New Brunswick, you have to stand there while I say a bunch of embarrassing things about you. Emma is graduating today with an honors degree in sociology, a minor in psychology, and undergraduate certificates in equity, diversity, and inclusion, and community engaged learning. Throughout her time at Mount Allison, Emma has been deeply involved both inside and outside the classroom. She has performed with the Garnet and Gold Musical Theatre Society, as well as at the Motier Fancy Theatre. She's worked as a teaching assistant and a research assistant within her department, and held leadership roles as a resident assistant, orientation crew leader, and START instructor. She's also played intramural sports and was a vibrant presence on campus. Emma will be continuing her education this fall at Dalhousie University, where she will pursue a master's degree in social work. She brings with her a strong sense of purpose and a commitment to using her education to making meaningful change, perhaps craft, in the world. Please join me, everyone, in a resounding welcome for Emma Etheridge, the valedictorian of 2025.
Good morning, faculty, distinguished honorees, alumni, parents, guests, and of course, the graduating class of 2025. I stand before you today nervous, humbled, and grateful. It is no exaggeration to say that serving as your graduating class valedictorian is one of the greatest honors of my life and not a responsibility I take lightly. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emma Etheridge, and I'm graduating today from my Bachelor of Arts in Sociology. For those of you who do know me, this may be the only time I get to talk for 10 minutes uninterrupted, so buckle up. I began prepping for the speech about a month ago, and I struggled to find a starting place. I wanted so badly to contribute something meaningful to the ceremony that my words became overly philosophical and detached from my reality here. I love Mount Allison so much. So I decided to just tell you about my journey loving this place and these people. I was reminded of a quote by Bell Hooks. I know, I said I wouldn't be too philosophical, but I just can't help myself. I was reminded of a quote by Bell Hooks, an incredible scholar who has followed me throughout my degree. She says that love is an action, never merely a feeling. I hope at the end of this ceremony, that message resonates with you. We've all traveled different paths to receiving our undergraduate degree. Some of us came here to fill requirements for grad school with our sights set on a specific job, or maybe you chose university because that is what it felt like you were supposed to do. For me, I never questioned whether I would get an education. My mother, a Mount A alumna herself, not only encouraged me to be fearless, but she modeled it. As a newly single mother of 2, she went back and did her master's degree at the age of 40. I remember one night being unable to sleep and peering out from behind my bedroom door. I could see papers scattered across her bed as she was furiously typing away at her computer. My mom looked tired. I asked her why she was doing this. At 12 years old, I couldn't understand, with 2 kids and a job, why she would put herself through this too. Her answer has become somewhat of a mantra in our house. She looked at me and said, "No one can ever take this degree away from me." I may not have understood her message then, but I certainly understand it now, and I hope to convey that to all of you. Regardless of the lows you experienced here, whether it be friends lost or exams failed, that just like my fearless mother, you all pushed yourself to earn this degree that will be hanging on your office wall years from now when our convocation is just a memory. This degree that no one can ever take from you. I want to celebrate that first and foremost, the triumph of walking across this stage today, of crossing the finish line, even if you had to drag yourself here, because I believe that what each and every one of you did in your time here matters. Our contributions to Mount A are all different. Some of us completed independent research, represented athletics, were on a society's executive, or worked on theater productions. Some of us were teaching assistants, peer tutors, or contributed to student life as house exec and residence assistants. Some of us made a classmate's day better by offering words of encouragement or lifted someone up by inviting them to sit with us at meal hall. All of those things matter. And I think it matters that you did these things at Mount Allison. We all came here for different reasons. Maybe you came here for a sport, for a specific program. Maybe you fell in love with the town of Sackville or the class sizes. I am sure we are all used to the question, why Mount A? Of all the post-secondary institutions, those of us crossing the stage today chose this one. For me, I did not have a coherent answer to that question leading up to my first year. In all honesty, I did not feel confident in my decision to attend this institution at all, until about 10 minutes into move-in day. Before coming here, I lived my whole life in Riverview, New Brunswick. If you've never been, it's a pretty place not too far away. I was lucky enough to make some good friends, many of whom are graduating with me today. However, there was always a part of me that did not quite fit there. I was always too loud, too theatrical, too much. I had made my peace with the idea that to fit into most spaces, I would have to make myself smaller. I prepared myself to do just that at Mount Allison. But in September 2021, as I drove into the town of Sackville, I was quickly overwhelmed by how wrong I had been. I was greeted by enthusiastic upper year students in tight and bright, cheering and dancing. Before I knew it, I had found my home in Windsor Hall, and 1 year later, I was that comforting upper year for incoming students as a residence assistant, and then the year after as an O Crew leader. I would be remiss if I didn't credit Windsor Hall for putting me in front of you today. No, it was not the hotel-like atmosphere that jump-started my Mount A journey. It was the people living around me, many of whom I've now had the opportunity to call my classmates, castmates, teammates, roommates, and best friends. This school has introduced me to the most genuine and generous people I could have ever hoped for. Now, when I am asked, why Mount A? I think back to the feeling I had seeing those enthusiastic upper years in their tight and bright on move-in day. They were not too loud or too theatrical. They weren't annoying and they weren't trying too hard. They were not too much. To me, that is what makes this place so special. In that moment, and in countless others over the next 4 years, this community showed me time and time again that by being my honest self, I was enough. I felt this sentiment especially on stage. Despite not being a drama student, I was welcomed with open arms into many productions at Mount A. How awesome is that? To bow alongside exceptional directors, designers, and performers, all while completing a different degree where I also experienced this community. In the sociology department, I am known as somewhat of a talker, and for 4 years, I've had the opportunity to think out loud about the structures that exist around me. I was able to critically examine the world and my place in it. My perspective shifted and my point of view exploded. I often have people say to me, wow, with the current state of the world, your degree must be so depressing. And it has been at times. We rise as graduates in a moment of heightened political, environmental, and economic instability. It can feel as though there are more things that divide us than things that unite us. Many people around me are feeling angry, scared, and confused. Under these circumstances especially, we cannot take for granted what it means to earn this degree. In these times of division and polarization, the knowledge and experiences you gained here are irreplaceable. To be educated is to think about, understand, and challenge a world that is designed to confuse and separate us. No one can take this degree away from you. I repeat that mantra from my mom regularly, yet I still find myself overwhelmed reading the news. In response, I really leaned on the community I have built at Mount A. Within the confines of the school and in Sackville, it can feel like I am in a bubble. Sometimes, I wish I could just shut my eyes and stay in this bubble forever. But then I hear once again the words of bell hooks. Love is an action, never merely a feeling. I love this place. But what I hope for our graduating class is that you take the love you fostered here, whether it be for sports, theater, chemistry, English, or the friends you wish would live down the hall forever, that you take that love and turn it into action. Take what you have learned here and do something with it. Write a book, make breakthroughs in your field of research, run for office, give a TED Talk. I have faith that members of our graduating class will do all of those things and more. But if I'm to leave you with only one thing today, it is the hope that you do them with love. I truly believe that we can change the world by taking care of each other, by taking care of our communities. And now, we are a part of the Mount Allison community forever as alumni. I feel heartbroken to be leaving, but looking out to this graduating class, I also feel incredibly joyful. To those of you I've come to know and to love in these last 4 years, I would like to say that you are the reason I am standing here today, and I will spend the rest of my life cheering you on as loudly as my voice will carry. To those of you I don't know well, I cannot wait to be reading about all of your accomplishments in the years to come and be filled with a deep sense of pride when I see Mount Allison Graduate 2025. Thank you so much.